Thank you, Preeti and Shubhendu. Good morning, everyone. Let's now have a look at the top lines. Reserve Bank of India removes daily withdrawal limit on savings accounts, however, kept the weekly limit of 24,000 rupees. Also, RBI announced removal of limits on all cash withdrawals from current accounts. The central bank has said that the banks may, at their discretion, have their own operating limits. Idea Cellular and Vodafone confirmed that the two companies are exploring a merger of business operations, and if the merger happens, then it would create the country's biggest telecom company, ahead of Bharati Airtel. The company Vodafone Idea entity will nearly have 39 crore subscribers compared to Airtel's 27 crores and Jio's 7.2 crores. While inaugurating India Post Payments Bank at two pilot branches at Raipur and Ranchi through video conferencing from Delhi, FM Arun Jaitley said the network of post offices can take banking operations to every doorstep.
मैं मानता हूं कि जो फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन का एक इंडेक्स है जिसमें देश काफ़ी तेज़ी से आगे बढ़ा है, ये इंडियन पोस्ट ऑफिस पेमेंट बैंक के आरंभ होने से उसको एक बहुत बड़ी ताकत और शक्ति मिलेगी.
And those are the top lines. And moving on, this year's budget, which is to be presented on the 1st of February, will be path-breaking. With just a day to go for the presentation, expectations of all sectors are on the rise. We tell you more in this report.
The countdown to the budget has begun. This time around, expectations of the common man and the corporate sector have increased. This time around, expectations and relief are expected on income tax and corporate tax front.
There should be a good tax rebate for salaried class in particularly, because we have not seen much tax rebate.
Important thing which is much bigger is because of the middle class. If it helps them to get closer to the dream of owning their dream house.
The MSME sector is also keenly awaiting the budget. They are hopeful that those merchants with a turnover of 5 crore rupees will be exempt from central GST. Also, returns would be simplified by having to file one return a year rather than the current system of monthly filing. If Make in India is to be given a push, the government will have to ensure that credit is made easily available to small manufacturers for them to increase their manufacturing activity.
आपको कोई भी इकाई स्थापित करने में कितनी सरलता से आप यह कार्य कर सकते हैं, इनके बारे में कोई ना कोई पॉलिसी संबंधी निर्देश जरूर आएंगे.
The government is expected to give a push to less cash economy as well. Digital transactions could be incentivized. There is likely to be more focus on improving the digital infrastructure so as to improve broadband and internet connectivity.
This year I'm expecting the tax systems to change, make it more progressive.
With a good monsoon and timely sowing, the agriculture sector looks to perform well and is looking to this budget for their expectations to be met.
खेती किसानी को लेकर नई मशीनें हैं, वो मशीनों पर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया जाए, उन पर सब्सिडी दी जाए.
The youth of the country are hopeful that the budget will focus on creating more jobs. India will contribute to 20% of the global workforce in the next 3 years, which means the government will focus on Make in India along with Skill India. While the list of expectations from the budget is long, the finance minister has to ensure a balance between the growth expectations of the nation while giving a boost to internal fundamentals, keeping in mind the aspirations of the people. Bureau Report, DD News.
Now let's move on to the global markets, in fact, which are trading at a 6-week low. President Donald Trump's decision continued to impact the stock markets across the globe. US equities closed lower yesterday, notching their worst day of the year. In fact, this comes amidst a new measure taken by the Trump administration on immigration, which sends the jitters through the markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by almost 123 points, below that 20,000 psychological mark at 19,971. In fact, Goldman Sachs contributing the most of the losses there. The S&P 500 has dropped by 14 points to around 2,281, with energy stocks shedding 1.7%. The Nasdaq Composite underperformed, falling almost by 0.83% to 5,603. Now moving on to the European stocks, the European markets closed lower yesterday after US President Donald Trump's introduction of travel ban on refugees coming from 7 Muslim majority countries. In fact, this prompted investor concern. Oil and gas stocks especially were among the worst performers yesterday, down by more than 2%. London's FTSE 100 was down by 66 points. Frankfurt's DAX is down by 132 points. And France's CAC 40 is down by almost 55 points at the end. Now moving on to the Indian markets, ahead of the economic survey and the union budget, Indian markets recorded their first drop in the 5 sessions amidst weak global leads. BSE Sensex edged down 33 points, around 27,850, while NSE Nifty also was down by 8.50 points, around 8,633. In fact, investors booked a profit. In fact, IT should in fact be noted that the uptrend in the previous 4 sessions came on the back of fresh foreign inflows and enthusiasm of domestic investors amidst optimism ahead of the budget and on better than estimated earnings by several banks and other companies. Now let's move on to the Asian markets. In fact, the equity slid after US stocks fell the most since the November election, spurred by concern that President Donald Trump's order on immigration signals. Majority of the Asian equity markets are showing negative trends. SGX Nifty is flat in the morning trade but sailing in the negative territory. We'll have to see how this impacts Indian markets. However, China, Hong Kong and Vietnam markets will be closed for holidays. Those are the updates in finance world. Once again, back to Preeti and Shubhendu.